News. I am Khushbu Soni, your host for the broadcast and chief editor at CIO News. This is our exclusive interview series with our digital innovators of India, powered by Rockwell Automation. This is a recorded session and will be available on our website, that is cionews.co.in, and our CIO News LinkedIn handle. It gives me an immense pleasure in introducing our guest for today. He is Mr. Ranganathan V. Iyer. Mr. Iyer has 33 plus years of rich experience in project management, ERP implementation, business processes, uh, driving digital transformation strategies, improvements, and implementing various technology into the production, people development, software development, etc. Mr. Iyer has worked for various brands like JBM Group, House of Pearls, Shahi Exports, Jindal Exports, and many more. Sir, it's an absolute pleasure to have you today on this platform.
Namaste.
Namaste, sir. So basically, to begin with, it would be great to hear from you about JBM Group. If you can share some insights, that'd be great.
JBM Group is basically into different business segments, starting from auto parts manufacturing, where we manufacture and supply to all OEMs, starting from two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, farm equipments,
right,
and buses. And over and above, we manufacture buses, traditional buses, CNG, and then we are into EV bus manufacturing also. And we have further expanded our forte into renewable energy. To name it, we are into solar farm energy, and we are into waste to energy also. From waste we generate energy and connect it to the grid. And lately we have expanded to manufacturing of batteries, specifically for EV.
Right.
But our core strength, we started from cylinder manufacturing, cylinder which we use at the house. Is from there we started, and we have expanded to this level in the last 35 plus years.
Right.
We are around $2 billion plus company, and presently, a few years back, we have invested on Linde Women is also part of our JBM Group now.
Right. Great. Great to hear that from you, sir. So my next question is, while we're saying that JBM is venturing into multiple business avenues, how would you see the role of technology partners in such ventures?
See, technology, before we talk about technology partners, let us try to, we have bisected the whole requirement into different pieces. One is customer-centric, or you can say whatever is outward focus. And the second one is inward focus. As far as outward focus is concerned, what is required for customer and supplier, or maybe to our ecosystem like government agencies or to the banking. Which are more focused on outward focus, and inward focus is more onto employees and our manufacturing or support services, including HR, finance, etc.
Right.
So, having said this, to cater to all the requirements, there is a process of understanding the whole issues. So the ecosystem of partnering with various stakeholders like third-party agencies are more crucial to ensure the business success.
Right, absolutely. And so my next question is around, how MNC like JBM is responding to the new technology trends like IoT, analytics, AR, for improving various, customer experience to production to the entire manufacturing setups.
See, as for auto sector is concerned, it is not new.
Right.
What is the differentiator today is we started embracing that data collection and then start looking into the insights of the data which is available. Having said that, what we have, the approach, what we have done is first try to resolve the business issues, try to understand different pain points, and try to have intervention of any of the technologies. It may be related to the automation, it may be related to elimination of some processor, or it may be related to whatever business pain point is. So having said that, the approach what we have followed is first try to create a use case for the pain point.
Right.
During that process, ensure you are creating a platform which is scalable. Having said that, having knowledge base for all different kinds of pain points or business pain points is not possible to make internally. So try to understand the ecosystem which is available, starting from startup companies, or there are players who have hands-on exposure to doing some of the automations across different segments.
Right.
Try to identify which one is going to help you resolving the business pain point, and seamlessly we are creating a baseline so that we can scale right. To supplement the questions, for example, because of pandemic, we had a very difficult situation, which has given us a right way of deploying technology. Let us try to illustrate with examples. When we were trying to, during this pandemic time, we wanted to have touchless movements of workforce. So we were in a position to bring in many of the technologies which can enable not only for employee attendance, it is more towards to identify the quality of the goods which has been produced. Over and above, we had the opportunity of deploying such solutions for making the social distancing. This is related to visual. And there are certain deployment which we have done, which is cloud focused. The reason for going for such a technology was some of the deployments where we were not sure about what kind of the resources we are going to have as an infrastructure is concerned. So we have adapted different technologies, and there are certain customer centric solutions which required, for example, the traceability. The traceability solution which we have identified, we have in-house developed, so that we are in a position to serve the customer whenever they are in need of. The focus point over and above this is employee.
Right.
Because we have less employee. There were situations where employees were not in a position to come and physically meet. So we ensured that a collaboration as a platform, we are in a position to embrace. Over and above, the training, learning and training related learning and development is also one of the forte which we have focused, and then try to bring in certain kind of digitally enabled training facilities, which has helped us improving the quality of the manpower which we have.
Right. Absolutely. Great, sir. And so next follow-up question on that is, while there's a lot of transformation that has been accelerated in the industry, and even for JPM, there's a lot of transformation that you're bringing in. Would you look forward to collaborating with technology consulting partners in your digital transformation journey?
I am not going to answer this question directly,
Yeah.
But let us try to see, when we are trying to do something, there are three aspects. Number one, the knowledge base. It is very difficult for anybody to have a knowledge base. The way the whole industry 4.0 or IoT digital transformation, any word you choose, it is not possible for anybody to possess. This is number one. Number two, when you are trying to identify the business pain point and then trying to find a solution for that, you have to fail fast. So this is number two. Number three is the scale. For example, once you are ready with the solution, how quickly you can scale. So having these three will give you a pointer that how good you are internally, what are your resources availability you have to see, and then try to plan and then get the development done. If it is going beyond your capacity, try to embrace the solutions which are already available, or trying to take resources who can contribute to your weak areas, so that which can increase your time to deploy, or you are in a position to make it much faster, or it is not getting delayed. The third one is when you are trying to scale it for much more bigger deployment, because we have more than 50 plants across India. So when we are trying to scale, it will be, you can take, you have to think and plan how you can scale. So if you based on the requirements and the availability of the resources, you will be in a position to embrace people available as a startups, or people available who are in a position to do a scaling part, or people are there who can contribute to your missing links. So it all depends on the situation. Yes, it is very imperative to have the landscape properly utilized. Why it should be used? The fourth factor is try to fail fast, or ensure that you are getting the success much quicker, so that you are not wasting, or the amount which you have spent is as minimum as possible.
Great, wonderful insights. So my next question is, with JBM operating in multiple plants, the threat of cyber attack in the OT environment become prominent with the need of connectivity. So how would you suggest a plan to address these issues? And while cybersecurity has been one of the focus after the whole pandemic had begun. So love your thoughts on that.
You have to understand one baseline. Manufacturing as an industry, we were never exposed to outside world. Specifically, companies like JBM Group, we are confined to OEMs. We never exposed ourselves other than OEMs.
Right.
Having said that, with the pandemic in place, the whole employee infrastructure, they started work from home.
Right.
So the scale of security threat comparatively has gone much higher.
Right.
So we have to understand this factor. The fact number two is it is not possible that because of security we have to start deploying all solutions which are available. We have to pick and choose where we wanted to deploy solution. And there is a basis for it. For example, what is critical for us?
Right.
For example, engineering is critical for us, right, because we have very important data which we have to protect. Whatever we are doing with customer, which are very important in nature, should be protected.
Right.
Yeah, so we will approach would be step-by-step process. It is very difficult for us. If you see a banking industry or telecom industry, reaching their level of security is going to be in the different stages. It cannot be possible that because of this we have to adapt all the security related deployments done, because it is going to have a huge cost impact also, and we have to see what we have to protect, and we have to plan which is critical in nature, do it first, then what should be the must have. The first is critical, next is must have, then slowly we can think what we can have for future, which is going to be more crucial for us. Why we have to do is because of this different kind of thought process which has come into the manufacturing post-pandemic. To quote an example, everyone wanted to do a digitization in the manufacturing floor. So the mindset also got changed. So the traditional IT mindset of having everything in-house also has changed, and we started adapting cloud. So that is also one of the important factor that we have to think when we are trying to plan the security landscape. The another factor for security is, it is not mandate that if you are secured, you are 100% protected. No, it is a journey. So this also we have to put it, think about it, and then we have to do the planning. Yes, we are fairly secure, but yes, we need, and we are planning to bring in much more into the security landscape.
Got it. Absolutely. So the next question is, do you have set up for remote monitoring of all your plants across different locations post this whole pandemic?
See, if you are talking about last 6 months, we are back to office, to be very honest. Okay, what has triggered, instead of remote working has started. Earlier, we used to have physical meetings. We have eliminated. Okay, we are trying to meet. We do more e-meets because of during the pandemic we learned the art of doing it right, or we are in the process of improving that. That's number one. Number two, it doesn't mean that work from home has 100% been eliminated. To some extent, it is already there in place. So yes, the cautious improvement and required infrastructure strengthening is also happening.
Right.
But as far manufacturing in our industry is concerned, we will be maybe 90-10 kind of percentage, or 95-5% of work from home kind of thing will happen for us.
Okay. Got it. Great, sir. So good insights. I have one last question. In fact, two last questions. I have two more questions for you. One is, would love to hear your thoughts on the future of digital working. Do you think that what percentage of work will remain digital going forward? So any thoughts around that?
See, before I answer this question, we have to understand what is happening around.
Yeah.
Number one, government is focusing more on digitization.
Right.
And see the whole landscape of banking to telecom to all GST, and government adapting many schemes which are digitally enabled. That's number one. Number two, people around you are also trying to adapt. If you go to a street vendor, he also has accepting the digital payments.
Correct.
This is number two. Number three, in post-pandemic, what is happening inside your manufacturing area? They have the problem of getting the right quality people.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, although it is not new to manufacturing as far as auto parts are concerned, they remotely, people who are maintaining the machines who are away from India, they used to get the data downloaded from the machine, which was used to send to them over internet or through mail, and they do the analysis, and they were sending what kind of correcting measures we have to do.
Right.
Earlier, we were doing like this. Post-pandemic, what has happened? We internally started consuming data. So what I'm trying to relate is, when the environment is conducive for adoption of digital,
Yeah.
Not only that, the third party, or you can say the infrastructure and the connectivity and the kind of equipment which are available to make digitization more meaningful with less cost, evident now.
Yeah.
So if you ask me the percentage wise, I will not be in a position to say how much percentage it would be, but it is going to increase in a larger chunk.
True.
Probably why I say this is because there are certain kind of assets which are available, which may not be conducive for digitization because of their own properties. So yes, it is going to increase. There will be certain level of not digitized assets which will be put to use. But yes, the whole manufacturing industry is focusing more on making things happen digitally.
Great, sir. So one last question. Any best practices or any do's and don'ts that you would like to share with the peers in the industry?
See, the approach is very important. The approach is going for digitization for the sake of going is not advisable. Everyone knows about it. The approach what we try to follow is, first identify the business pain points. Number one. Try to bring in digital adoption to resolve these business pain points.
Right.
Cautiously create a platform.
Correct.
Why? Because if you are trying to solve a business issue, it should not solve only that business issue. You should be parallelly creating a platform which is helping you scaling up. Number two, post doing that, with the platform available with you, try to bring in the environment for all the employees to ensure that they are in a position to adapt the digitization.
Correct.
In this process, you have to spend more time on bringing in some training courses, or maybe some of the knowledge sharing session, which is going to increase the knowledge level of the workforce. So focus more on workforce and try to make them digitally capable of operating or consuming the digital platform which you are trying to do that. So this training is rather very, very important. When you are trying to do in the whole process, the cost is also one of the main factor. Yeah. So try to make use of the startup ecosystem, because we have a dedicated team who were there to analyze the startup ecosystem, and then whoever are relevant to our kind of requirements, we used to have a deep dive and then subsequently try to embrace their capability. That's number one. So try to use the capability of so that your cost benefit is also there. And if things are not working out, try to find people who had exposure in making a bigger deployment already done, so that we can embrace. In the nutshell, if you see, the whole manufacturing started adapting, you can say MES kind of things for future.
Yeah.
In some of the area, we also started thinking of going for a structured, already available solution in place.
Okay.
So this approach will help us. And the important factor is try to fail faster. It means try to get the timeline fixed. For example, in 3 months, either I will get success or I will leave this project, so that the cost to overshoot is not there. It is not that we are spending time only on doing R&D. That is not going to help the business resolving issues.
Got it. Got it. So wonderful insights, and I think I'm sure all our viewers are going to get good key takeaways out of this. So thank you once again for joining us on the platform of CIO News and being our guest for this series. It's a pleasure to have you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm really happy that CIO News I could take part in this series, and thanks to Rockwell Automation also to make this happen. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.